Copy. Paste. Refresh. Play. Join this one. Alright, we're live. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Let me make sure this is muted. Pretty slow news day today. We will be keeping track of what's going on in the House of Representatives tomorrow, whether they will choose to vote to reopen the government or not. There's some things that have been mentioned in the last day, particularly hemp has been a contentious topic in the considered reopening of the government. But we'll see tomorrow. We'll talk about more of that tomorrow. Happy Veterans Day, everybody. Keep in mind our service members who are protecting us today, every day, allowing us to have the freedoms that we do, allowing us to be safe. And remember that they still haven't been paid in 40 days, but they are still serving, protecting. So hopefully, if you know any veterans, tell them thank you today. Make sure that they know everything they do has been or is appreciated. Today we've had a historic cold snap across the South, historic lows in a number of places in Florida. This will likely impact winter crops this year, unfortunately. I personally hope that farmers were able to prepare. I'm sure everybody else does. It could potentially cause lower yields this year, and that falls onto the consumer as well. Increased grocery prices could possibly happen in the future because of it. So just hope that everybody was able to prepare, at least to the best that they could, because it'll affect everybody. Lower yields for the farmers means less money for them, and in turn it will mean higher demand and higher prices at the grocery store. So we just got to hope for the best at this point, but it was a little surprising to see the temperatures go down this low this early in the year. We'll see the temperatures go down this low this far in the South in general. Is a little bit of a surprise, especially in early November. Topic today that I guess piqued my interest, personally affected me, is the growing threats of violence against religious communities. Recently, or yesterday, I believe it was, a local individual had plans to make a church look like a genocide. It's rather alarming that that's how people feel. And, you know, it could be anybody. Another individual from Texas was extradited to Florida recently for threats he's made against members of the Jewish community. We can't have that here in America. We can't threaten people over religion, threaten to kill people over religion for that matter. There's no point in it, truly. And it solves no issues. You can choose not to believe a religion. You can choose to believe whatever religion you want here in America. But you can't choose to threaten people's lives over their choice of religion, them worshiping whatever they would like. It's not acceptable. It's disgusting. And this isn't a one-off occurrence here in America. In recent memory, you had the Church of Latter-day Saints in Grand Blanc, Michigan. A man crashed into the church, opened fire, and then set it ablaze afterwards. At the beginning of the school year, at Annunciation Catholic Church in Minneapolis, Minnesota, a shooter claimed 2 students' lives in a morning prayer. Another attempt earlier this year at the Crosspoint Community Church. Luckily, that one was thwarted. Churchgoers hit the suspect with their car and then fatally shot him. But this has been a growing pattern in America. I remember the first instance of the like I can remember was the Emmanuel African Methodist Episcopal Church in Charleston, South Carolina. That was in 2015. And ever since, it seems that these attacks have become more and more common. There's examples of arson of churches in North Carolina. An interesting part about that is a group of Boy Scouts had to put it out with bottles of water and soda. A group of children are the ones that have to clean up the mess that this has caused. That really puts it in the perspective a little bit that this actually is, the burden fell on the children to put out a fire caused by religious terrorism. If that doesn't make you feel like at least some sort of way, it should. Because there's truly no reason that it should fall on children. It shouldn't be their burden. We as adults should know how to act better, surely. And then there was also an arson of a synagogue here in Florida recently. But this isn't just a U.S. problem. It's an international problem. We've seen attacks on synagogues in the U.K. More and more, we're growing aware of the mass slaughter of Nigerian and Sudanese Christians. There's been a lot of focus towards that, at least the Nigerian side, but it's happening in Sudan as well, South Sudan as well. And it's growing more and more common. It used to be once a year, and now it's once every couple of months, it seems. We really need to take a step back and look at what is causing people to do this. And from my personal standpoint, it truly shows that there are demonic forces at work here. Because it's not isolated, and it's a lot bigger than one nation. So it shows you the depth and ferocity of these attacks, and how they're becoming normalized. It's, like as I said, truly demonic. This has come alongside growing incidents of political violence in the U.S. as well. Last night at UC Berkeley, there were attacks at a Turning Point USA event. Left multiple people injured, people were assaulted. It went from a night of protests to a riot last night. This is right after the Turning Point USA founder, Charlie Kirk, was assassinated at an open mic debate event at Utah Valley University. There's attacks on that organization daily, whether it be the corporate side with the large events, to just average students putting up tables, inviting people to join their club on campuses. Those people are also getting attacked. But I thought back, this isn't the first instance of this at UC Berkeley either. The same things actually happened in 2017 when Milo Yiannopoulos was scheduled to speak on campus there at UC Berkeley. So it's not just Turning Point USA that's been targeted, it's multiple, I guess, groups of conservatives, or I'd just say that. It's not just Turning Point USA, but it's multiple groups of conservatives who have been targeted. And this has gone all the way up to attacks on the President of the United States of America. President Trump has had 2 verified attacks against his life, one in Butler, Pennsylvania, and a second at his golf course in West Palm Beach, where Ryan Ruth claimed he wanted to eliminate him and Steve Witkoff. Witkoff is now serving as the special envoy to the Middle East and special envoy to peace missions for the U.S. So the irony's kind of not lost there. It's unfortunate, but even those that aren't in the main position of power, such as Witkoff, a peacemaker for the U.S. on our behalf, he's been targeted as well. It was explicitly stated by Ruth that he wanted to assassinate both of them that day. So it goes all the way up, it goes all the way down. And it's a culture that is glorified violence, culture that's almost been dehumanized to violence as well. It's so often, happens so often. And we aren't the, I guess, only group as conservatives. There's Christians. Jewish people are targeted. So it's not a one-off incident. It's a cultural thing, it seems, and it's hard to understand how this has been propagated into American culture, particularly from the left wing. I just want to take a moment here. I think I told you guys this is going to be a short episode today. Not much has really happened. But if you would, like, subscribe, share, comment. Y'all can chat with me. Feel free to. There's a live chat. I'll answer when I can. I mean, sometimes I'll be on a little rant, but I'd love to talk to you guys. Let me know what y'all are thinking, how y'all are feeling about things like this. And if you do choose to support me, there's a button in Rumble on the bottom left of this video. You can do a one-time donation, monthly if you'd like, but every bit helps me out. It allows me to continue doing this. And I thank you for that. And if anybody, like I said, would like to do a formal sponsorship deal, I'll do live ad reads. I can play videos. And yeah, let me know. You can email me, DM me on X, and I'd be more than willing to negotiate with you. Just going back to yesterday, while we were live, President Trump was meeting with Ahmed al-Shara, the president of Syria, to discuss lifting sanctions on Syria. There's been a lot of trouble in Syria regarding Christians as well. They are persecuted there. They are persecuted there. They have been. But this Ahmed al-Shara, he is the same man who was formerly a leader of Al-Qaeda, the same man who was wanted by the FBI for a bounty of $10 million just a year ago. A year ago, the FBI had him on the most wanted terrorist list, And today, or yesterday, he was in the White House. I guess, oh, how things change with time. But on this Veterans Day, I can't imagine how this feels to our veterans. Especially those who spent years of their lives fighting Al-Qaeda, lost friends overseas, saw friends pass away, held their friends as they passed away in their arms. I can't imagine how it feels for those people. Particularly those who were tasked with searching for him in the Middle East. It's hard to say why. I mean, I guess it was just an opportune time for this negotiation to occur between the United States and Syria. However, the day before Veterans Day, it rubbed me the wrong way for sure. I'm sure it did many of you. Personally, I would have had every single veteran that served in the global war on terror invited to the White House before I ever invited a terrorist leader, or a former terrorist leader. I think back to George Bush, actually, saying we don't negotiate with terrorists. And, that one aged like bad cheese, like sour milk. I mean, I don't have the right words to describe how I feel about that. Like I said, it's a rather slow news day. President Trump and J.D. Vance were at the Arlington Cemetery, visited the tomb of the unknown soldier, hung the wreath. But besides that, there hasn't been much coming out of Washington today. Everybody had the day off. It is a national holiday, so on this Veterans Day, just remember to say thank you. Thank you to the veterans you know, and just acknowledge the sacrifices they made. Sacrifices they made for you and me. Keeping this country free, keeping us safe at home, defending our rights. Just say thank you. Take the time out of your day. Call someone, whether it's your dad, your grandfather, your brother, your sister, your mom, your grandma, I don't know. Your friend, your friend's dad, if you have his number. I mean, just call a veteran and tell them thank you. Thank you for what they've done. Because they've sacrificed a lot for us. Give us a lot of opportunities here at home that people don't get abroad. But yeah, remember, just say thank you, guys. Thank a veteran today. On that note, that's all I've got for you today. We'll be back tomorrow. Likely will be a much higher paced day. They will be voting on the House floor whether to reopen the government. We'll see how that's going to affect, obviously, Thanksgiving travel, stuff like that. Whether or not the hemp revision is going to be included or not is up for discussion right now. There are debates online. That'll obviously spill over onto the House floor tomorrow, so we'll see how that goes. Remember, like, comment, subscribe, share, follow. If you want to help me out financially, I'd love it. If you don't, no worries. But I'd appreciate any way you guys got this message out. I want to keep doing this, not just for me, but for you. So, yeah, to all my people on the East Coast, I hope you get home safe. To my people further west, hope you can finish out the workday strong, and you also get home safe as well. That's all we've got for today. I'll see you again tomorrow. Thank you, guys.